Did you know that 40% of Americans would struggle to cover a $400 emergency expense, even though many of them earn good salaries? Here's the truth. Financial success has less to do with spreadsheets and more to do with psychology. In his groundbreaking book, The Psychology of Money, Morgan Housel reveals a hidden truth. Managing money isn't about how smart you are, it's about how you behave. Think about it. Doctors, engineers, bankers, even CEOs, people with high intelligence, still make poor money choices. Why? Because money decisions are driven by emotions, ego, and habits more than logic. So here's the big question. If wealth isn't about what you know, but how you think, what's the mindset that creates lasting financial freedom? Stay tuned, because the answers in this book may completely change your financial story. Let's dive in. Money touches every part of life. For students, it's tuition loans. For parents, it's raising children while saving for retirement. For professionals, it's career choices, mortgages, and financial freedom. And for everyone, it's the dream of security and independence. Yet, here's the irony. Despite money being everywhere, most of us were never taught how to think about it. We learn algebra, geography, and history in school, but not how to manage debt, save for emergencies, or handle the emotions of financial stress. That's why Morgan Housel's The Psychology of Money is so important. It doesn't just give financial tips. It teaches the hidden success mindset that separates those who struggle from those who thrive. It's about life transformation through better money habits. In this book, you'll discover how patience, behavior, and emotional control often matter more than raw income. You'll learn why timing, discipline, and humility shape your financial destiny. And you'll uncover secrets to building wealth that anyone, regardless of background, can apply. This isn't just about numbers. It's about choices, freedom, and peace of mind. Welcome to Unique Audiobook. This is the place where you'll find the world's best book summaries, in just 15 minutes. Each summary reveals a hidden secret that can change your thinking and your life. Whether you're a student, a parent, a professional, part of the corporate world, navigating relationships, or working on your finances and mindset, here, you'll discover practical solutions and new perspectives. And remember, the secret we're about to reveal today might just be the turning point in your financial journey. So stay with me, because what Morgan Housel uncovered is not only powerful, it could be the missing financial wisdom you've been searching for. Don't skip this. Because if you leave right now, you'll miss the single biggest key to financial freedom. Morgan Housel's research reveals something shocking. Financial success doesn't require genius IQ, insider knowledge, or perfect timing. People fail not because they lack money, but because they mismanage emotions around money. This book is rare. It combines history, psychology, and finance to explain why some people with modest incomes retire wealthy while others with high salaries stay broke. And here's the suspense. Stay till the end, because the last principle in this summary is the most powerful. It's the one that can flip your entire perspective on wealth. So, if you've ever worried about debt, struggled to save, or dreamed of freedom, keep listening. The next 15 minutes may change the way you see money forever. Consider Warren Buffett, often called the greatest investor of all time. His fortune is estimated at over $100 billion. But here's the overlooked fact. More than 90% of his wealth was built after he turned 65. How? Patience and behavior. Buffett himself says, investing is not about being smart, it's about being disciplined. That perfectly echoes Morgan Housel's point. The psychology of money matters far more than financial equations. Success comes from patience, consistency, and long-term thinking, not sudden strokes of luck. So the lesson is clear. Wealth isn't built in a moment. It's built in habits repeated quietly over years. Buffett's story proves wealth isn't about brilliance, it's about behavior. But here's the real question. Why do so many smart people still make poor money decisions? The answer lies in the first principle Morgan Housel uncovers. Secret 1. Why behavior beats intelligence in financial success. Imagine two investors. One holds a degree from the best finance school, knows every stock formula, but panics during a market drop. The other has no formal training, but calmly keeps saving and investing over decades. Who ends up wealthier? Most of the time, it's the second. This is Morgan Housel's first principle. Financial success is not about knowledge, it's about behavior. Intelligence can help you earn money, but behavior decides if you keep it, grow it, or lose it. Housel shares that ordinary investors who consistently saved and stayed invested often outperformed experts who traded aggressively. History proves patience usually wins over brilliance. Think of professionals during economic downturns. Some panic sell investments, locking in losses. Others hold steady, trusting in recovery. 10 years later, those who stayed calm often come out far ahead. True financial strength is not measured by what you know but by how you act when it matters most. Knowledge may give you an edge, but behavior decides if you protect or destroy your wealth. When emotions calm and patience rules, money becomes a tool for freedom. That's why understanding this principle is the foundation for everything that follows. Next time you feel pressured to make a financial decision, pause. Ask, am I reacting emotionally, or am I following a plan? Choose calm action over panic. So we've seen that wealth depends less on IQ and more on steady behavior. But here's another hidden truth. Most people confuse being rich with being wealthy. They look at flashy lifestyles, not realizing the difference between appearance and stability. Secret 2 uncovers this powerful idea. Why being wealthy is not the same as looking rich. Picture a neighbor with a new luxury car, designer clothes, and vacations posted online. They look rich. But behind the scenes, they may have crushing debt. Compare that with someone living modestly, saving diligently, and quietly building investments. They may not look impressive, but they're truly wealthy. Morgan Housel emphasizes, rich is visible. Wealth is invisible. Rich is spending money to show status. Wealth is financial freedom, security, and options, things others can't always see. Housel describes individuals with high incomes who stayed broke due to overspending. Meanwhile, many millionaires lived below their means, building wealth in silence. In corporate life, some employees chase visible symbols, bigger offices, expensive gadgets. Others focus on savings, investments, and stability. Years later, the latter often enjoy freedom, while the first stay stressed. Looking rich is easy. Spend money. Being wealthy is harder. It means resisting the urge to show off and instead focusing on building stability. Wealth is invisible because it's not the car you drive or the clothes you wear. It's the peace of knowing you're secure. This shift prepares us for the next building block. Saving next time you admire someone's lifestyle, remind yourself, wealth isn't about what you see. It's about what remains when the spotlight fades. Recognizing the difference between rich and wealthy changes everything. But here's the next question. If true wealth hides beneath the surface, how do we actually build it? The answer is surprisingly simple, and often ignored. Secret 3 shows why saving money is not just a habit, but the unshakable foundation of financial freedom. Imagine a castle. The taller it grows, the stronger its foundation must be. In the world of money, that foundation is saving. Morgan Housel explains that wealth is not built only by earning more, but by keeping more. Many people chase higher income but ignore the simple discipline of saving. Yet, saving is powerful because it gives freedom, reduces stress, and creates options when life surprises you. Housel notes that many wealthy individuals were not those with the highest salaries but those who consistently saved, even in modest amounts. Their security came not from income but from habits. Think of two friends earning the same salary. One spends freely to keep up appearances. The other quietly saves a portion every month. 10 years later, one is still paycheck to paycheck, while the other has a safety net and investment base. Earning a high income doesn't guarantee financial freedom, but consistent saving does. Every dollar saved is a seed that creates options, security, and resilience against life's surprises. Savings form the quiet foundation on which wealth rests. Without it, even high earners remain fragile. This naturally leads to the next principle, the role of time and compounding. Start small. Choose one expense to reduce this week, and put that amount into savings. The habit matters more than the number. Now we know saving is the cornerstone of financial freedom. But here's the catch. Saving alone doesn't make you rich overnight. True wealth requires patience, the art of letting time do the heavy lifting. Secret 4 shows us the overlooked truth: why compounding rewards those who wait, not those who rush. Picture planting a tree. On day 1, it's a fragile sapling. After a year, it's still small. But over decades, it becomes a towering giant. That's how compounding works. Morgan Housel explains that wealth grows not by sudden leaps but through time and patience. A fixed mindset wants instant results. But real financial growth rewards those who stay consistent over years. Housel points out that Warren Buffett made most of his fortune after the age of 65, not because of a new strategy, but because compounding had decades to work. Think of retirement accounts. A young professional who invests small amounts early often ends up with more than someone who invests larger sums later. Time beats intensity. Compounding rewards those who respect time. Growth doesn't come overnight, but when effort and patience meet, results become extraordinary. The longer you allow money to grow undisturbed, the greater the outcome. This isn't magic, it's mathematics powered by discipline. But even compounding can be undone if greed pushes us too far. That's our next lesson. Compounding teaches patience, but here's the danger: the urge for more can undo years of progress. Many fortunes disappear not because of poor math, but because of unchecked greed. Secret 5 shines a spotlight on this hidden trap, showing how greed quietly destroys wealth and why learning to stop protects your future. Imagine winning a game of cards. Instead of walking away satisfied, you keep playing, chasing more, and end up losing everything. That's how greed works in money. Morgan Housel reminds us, wealth is often lost not because of poor opportunities, but because of the inability to stop when we already have enough. Greed blinds judgment. It makes people risk too much for too little. Housel shares the story of Rajat Gupta, a successful business leader with power and money. Yet, driven by greed, he engaged in insider trading, a decision that ruined his career and reputation. Think of professionals who earn well but borrow heavily for bigger houses, fancier cars, or endless upgrades. Their greed to keep up leaves them vulnerable when crises hit. Greed disguises itself as ambition, but in reality, it's the hunger that blinds judgment. Many people don't fail because they lack opportunities, but because they risk too much trying to chase more. Knowing when to stop is as important as knowing when to start. And that brings us to a question: how do we define enough? Next time you're tempted to risk everything for just a little more, pause and ask, what do I already have that I don't want to lose? We've seen how greed quietly erases fortunes. But here's the deeper insight: wealth isn't about endless accumulation, it's about recognizing enough. Without this, no amount feels satisfying. Secret 6 shows why embracing the idea of enough brings peace and stability. The mindset shift from endless chasing to content financial living. Picture someone climbing a mountain. Halfway up, they already have an incredible view. But instead of enjoying it, they keep climbing recklessly, desperate for more, until exhaustion makes them fall. Morgan Housel teaches that the most important financial skill is knowing when you have enough. A fixed mindset says, I'll only be happy when I get more. A growth mindset says, I'm grateful for what I have, and I'll grow steadily without risking it all. Housel highlights that even billionaires fall when they ignore enough. Many lost fortunes by gambling for more, proving that without limits, money never feels satisfying. In everyday life, someone might already have a good salary, home, and security. But chasing endless upgrades, a bigger car, a larger house, creates stress instead of joy. Peace of mind comes from clarity, not endless accumulation. Without boundaries, more is never enough, and contentment remains out of reach. Defining enough protects your progress and ensures money serves your life, not the other way around. Once this anchor is in place, the next challenge becomes mastering the emotional side of money. Write down your definition of enough: income, savings, or lifestyle. Use it as a boundary against greed. Understanding enough creates balance, But there's another obstacle: our emotions. Fear, envy, and pride often hijack money choices long before logic enters the room. To succeed financially, we must master the invisible forces inside us. Secret 7 uncovers this hidden battlefield, explaining why emotions quietly control money decisions more than numbers ever do. Imagine standing in front of a store window during a sale. Logic says, "I don't need this." But emotion whispers, "Everyone's buying, I might miss out." That single emotional pull can undo months of careful planning. Morgan Housel emphasizes, money decisions are rarely made with calculators. They're made with feelings: fear, greed, envy, pride. A fixed mindset lets emotions drive unchecked. A growth mindset learns to pause, reflect, and act with discipline. Housel describes investors who sold stocks in panic during market crashes. Their emotions cost them far more than the actual downturn. Those who controlled fear and stayed invested gained in the long term. Think of someone scrolling social media, comparing their life to others. Envy pushes them into debt, expensive vacations, cars, or gadgets, to keep up appearances. Emotions, not logic, drive the purchase. Fear, envy, and pride are silent thieves. They push us to spend recklessly, panic in downturns, or compare ourselves endlessly. Logic alone cannot overcome them, but awareness and discipline can. Controlling emotions is not about removing feelings but about guiding actions despite them. Still, even emotions can't control everything. Chance and timing also play a role. Next time you feel a strong urge to buy or sell, pause 24 hours. Most emotional decisions fade with time, saving you from costly mistakes. Emotions play a huge role, yet even with control, outcomes aren't always in our hands. Sometimes, timing and luck shape results in ways we can't predict. Recognizing this builds humility, a vital financial trait. Secret 8 reveals the surprising truth: how luck and timing influence wealth, and why humility protects against arrogance. Picture two investors starting in different decades. One begins in a booming market and sees fast growth. The other begins during a recession and struggles. Same skills, different outcomes, because of timing. Morgan Housel stresses that luck and timing play larger roles in wealth than most admit. A fixed mindset says, "I succeeded only because I'm brilliant." A growth mindset acknowledges timing, chance, and external factors. This humility protects against arrogance and poor decisions. Housel highlights Bill Gates, who admitted his success partly came from being in the right place at the right time, with access to early computers few had. Think of two small businesses. One opens just before an economic crash and struggles. Another opens during recovery and thrives. The difference isn't always effort, sometimes it's timing. Success is never fully self-made. Timing, luck, and external factors influence outcomes more than most of us admit. Recognizing this truth builds humility and prevents arrogance. When we acknowledge what's beyond our control, we act with greater caution and gratitude. And in a world filled with uncertainty, humility leads to the next key trait: flexibility. The next time you celebrate a win, ask, "What external factors helped me?" Gratitude builds humility and wiser choices. So far, we've explored how emotions shape decisions and how luck shapes opportunities. But here's the deeper truth: even with these factors, money management always involves uncertainty. No one can predict the future perfectly. Secret 9 reveals the antidote: why embracing flexibility is the smartest financial strategy. Imagine a sailor who insists on one route, no matter the weather. When storms hit, the ship sinks. Another sailor adjusts sails, changes course, and survives. That's the role of flexibility in money. Morgan Housel explains that the future is uncertain. Markets shift, economies wobble, and personal lives change. The people who thrive are not the ones who predict perfectly, but those who adapt wisely. A fixed mindset clings to rigid plans. A growth mindset builds flexibility, allowing for change without panic. Housel highlights investors who avoided disaster by keeping cash reserves. While others were locked into risky bets, Flexible investors survived downturns and could reinvest when opportunities appeared. Consider a family planning expenses. If they budget every dollar with no buffer, one emergency derails them. Another family, saving extra for flexibility, weathers the storm calmly. The future will never follow a perfect script. Markets fluctuate, crises strike, and plans collapse. Those who survive and grow are not the ones who predicted correctly but those who adjusted quickly. Flexibility is the shield against uncertainty. With this shield in place, we can then focus on the real driver of wealth, thinking long-term. Add a flexibility fund to your finances. Keep a cushion of savings for unexpected changes. It buys peace of mind. Flexibility helps us weather storms, but thriving requires more than short-term adjustments. True wealth is built not in days or months, but across decades. Impulsive decisions may sparkle, but patience compounds into greatness. Secret 10 takes us deeper, explaining why long-term thinking consistently outperforms short-term excitement and builds real financial independence. Picture two farmers. One plants quick crops, harvesting fast but exhausting the soil. The other plants trees, waiting years before fruit appears, but then harvesting for decades. That's the difference between short-term and long-term financial thinking. Morgan Housel teaches that money rewards patience. Short-term thinking chases quick wins, day trading, risky bets, sudden splurges. Long-term thinking builds wealth steadily, allowing compounding, resilience, and security. Housel points out that even average investors who stayed invested for decades often beat professionals who constantly tried to time the market. Patience turned ordinary effort into extraordinary results. In careers, some chase instant promotions and quick recognition. Others invest years building skills, networks, and trust. Over time, the long-term players rise higher, with deeper stability. Quick wins are fragile. Real wealth grows from years of discipline, patience, and compounding. When you zoom out, short-term fluctuations fade, and long-term progress shines. Thinking in decades rather than days transforms your financial path. But wealth isn't just about you. It affects everyone who learns from your choices, which leads us to the ripple effect. Set one long-term financial goal, retirement, a home, or education savings. Commit to small, consistent steps, no matter how boring they feel today. Long-term vision creates stability, but money choices don't stop with us. Every decision sets an example, for children, co-workers, even society. Whether we intend it or not, our behavior sends ripples. Secret 11 explores this wider impact, showing how financial habits ripple outward, shaping families, communities, and future generations. Imagine a child watching their parents. Every spending choice, every saving habit, every reaction to money becomes part of their silent education. This is the ripple effect of financial behavior. Morgan Housel explains that money habits don't just affect you, they echo across families, communities, and even generations. A fixed mindset often passes down fear, scarcity, or reckless spending. A growth mindset models patience, discipline, and long-term vision. Housel notes that financial behaviors, not income, often predict whether future generations rise or struggle. Families that practiced saving, regardless of wealth, created stability that lasted decades. Consider a workplace. A leader who panics during downturns creates fear in employees. Another leader who stays calm, cuts waste, and adapts inspires confidence, shaping the team's financial resilience. Your habits speak louder than advice. Children, colleagues, and communities copy what they see more than what they hear. Saving, patience, and discipline practiced by one person often inspire others to follow. Money decisions ripple outward, shaping futures beyond your own. But even with all this wisdom, one final truth remains. Perfection isn't the goal. Pause and ask, what financial lesson am I modeling for others? Choose one positive habit to demonstrate consistently, whether saving, patience, or gratitude. We've seen how financial habits echo beyond ourselves. But here's the final truth. No journey is flawless. Mistakes will happen, bad investments, overspending, missed opportunities. The question is not perfection, but progress. Secret 12 concludes our journey with a liberating principle. Financial success comes from steady improvement, not impossible perfection. Picture someone learning to play piano. They hit wrong notes, stumble, and restart. But over time, practice turns noise into music. Money works the same way. Morgan Housel reminds us, perfection in finance doesn't exist. Everyone makes mistakes, missed investments, impulsive buys, financial regrets. The difference lies in whether you learn and improve, or give up. A fixed mindset punishes itself for every slip. A growth mindset says, this mistake is tuition, a lesson I've paid for. Housel highlights investors who admitted to failed decisions but still grew wealth over decades by staying consistent. Their success came from resilience, not flawlessness. Think of someone who overspends 1 month. Instead of quitting, they reset the next month, building progress step by step. Over years, that progress outweighs short-term errors. No financial journey is flawless. Everyone makes mistakes, missed investments, emotional choices, wasted money. What matters is whether you learn, adapt, and move forward. Progress compounds. Perfection paralyzes. Financial mastery comes from consistent improvement, not flawless execution. And with that, we're ready to tie everything together in one powerful conclusion. When you make a money mistake, write it down as a lesson. Adjust your plan, then move forward stronger. We've now reached the final insight. Money is not just math, it's behavior, patience, and perspective. From behavior over intelligence to progress over perfection, each lesson builds a foundation for freedom. Let's close by pulling these ideas together into a simple, powerful conclusion you can apply today. Think back to where we started. Why do some people thrive financially while others stay trapped? The answer, Morgan Housel shows, is not brilliance, luck, or formulas. It's psychology. We learned that behavior beats intelligence. Wealth is invisible, not flashy. Saving builds freedom. Patience multiplies growth. Greed destroys, but enough protects. Emotions, luck, and timing matter. Flexibility and long-term thinking win. Your mindset ripples across generations. Progress matters more than perfection. Here's your action plan. Choose one principle each week. Apply it in your financial life. Step by step, you'll transform your relationship with money. Remember this punchline: money success is not about what you know, it's about how you behave. So, what financial story will you write from today onward? If you stayed with me till the end, it means you truly want to transform your financial life. And that decision already shows the mindset of growth. Thank you for listening to Unique Audiobook. Here, you'll find summaries of 100+ of the world's best books, each designed to shift your thinking and open new possibilities. If this summary helped you, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share your favorite lesson in the comments. And if you'd love the full audiobook, let us know below. Remember, the link to this book is in the description. Now go live these principles, embrace financial wisdom, and build the freedom you deserve.